Hey guys, today I'll take a break. I'm not going to develop any new feature in my Laravel application. So from the screen, you can see the application I developed in past few videos. This is a simple to-do task management web app. It's not a full-featured application, or I can see it's just probably for demo or presentation purpose. So today I want to take the chance to go through something about Livewire, and I want to show you how Livewire is working in the background to associate the front end with the back end. Okay, let's start. You can see from the screen, I create a simple form under the list to show the to-do list, to-do items. Let me add a new item here. You can see the table is refreshed, but the page is not reloaded, so it's like a reactive behavior on the page. Most of you probably know that the Vue.js and the Laravel and how you can use them to develop such behavior or user experience. Now let me show you something happening in the background, which is powered by Livewire. So you see here, this is a to-do list component I developed. I also defined the function delete to-do, and it's used by the front end or the component like template. We use the delete to-do as the listener or handler of while click, a button handler. So we want to run the delete to-do function in the button click. So let me take it as an example. So let's see the network. So we open the Chrome Dev tool and go to network panel. Let's delete swimming item. So you can see there's a request made to livewire/message/to-do list endpoint. This is a request initiated by the Livewire core, the client-side JavaScript. I'm going to go through it shortly. So in the request, we can see that the payload has a bunch of information. The key point is the payload method delete to-do and the parameters 14. It means that the server side should run the method delete to-do with parameter 14. This is just what we defined in the component here. So how it's done? First of all, let's see the response. So you can see in the response, there's a big chunk of HTML returned. So the Livewire JavaScript will use this HTML to refresh the page so that you won't see the page reload and the UI gets refreshed. So this is what I call reactive behavior. So this is how the Livewire works. Also, let's look into the request. Who initiated? So if you look into the initiator, this is the index.js. Index.js, this is supplied by Livewire. If you look into the Laravel application, go to vendor folder and find Livewire, and you can see here in the JS folder there's a in connection index.js. This is what I was talking about here. Okay, so the connection.js, and this is the component.js. Component.js is here. Component folder index.js. So I just add a breakpoint here. So let's refresh the page. Yeah, you can see it stops here. It's going to call initialize method. And if we see the element parameter in the constructor, so it's highlighted on the page, you can see here. That is the navbar. So navbar is also a Livewire component, which is not developed by me, but provided by Livewire framework. Let's resume the execution. So now this is the second time calling the initialize method. Let's see the element. So this is the form I created. Move on. The third time, the element now is a list, the table. Move on. Okay. So the initialize method is called 3 times, which means there are 3 Livewire components on the page. Next thing is the call, the API call. If I delete, so you can see here the call. Who made this call? It's here. So it's in the connection index.js. There's a method, send message. It will use a fetch API to make the post request with all these details, including the payload. I'm not going to go through the details of the payload, so you can look into the implementation if you like. And the next thing is here. If I look for effects HTML, you can see here this HTML in the response is sent to this method handle method. It's here, handle method, which takes care of the page refresh. So the page will be updated with the new HTML chunk. So this is the end-to-end logic, how the API call is made and how the page is updated. So in Livewire world, every API call will trigger the component render or the re-render. To prove that, let me do one thing for you. So here in the to-do list component render method or function, let me add a log item here, render to-do list. Okay, let's see if it's logged every time when we delete an item. Okay, you see actually I did it before, so let me do it again. Now let me add something swimming as usual. Let me add it. Okay, it's added. Definitely you see the render function is called. Okay, move on. Let's delete. Okay, it's called again. Why is it called? Because when we delete, we call the delete to do function is called. And we update the to-do list array. When we update the array, the render function is called. So it will update the list. Also, it's the same when we add something, say we add swimming 1 we click save. While the table is also refreshed, you can see to-do list is rendered again. That's because if we see create to-do in the save to-do function, let's quickly go to the create to-do form. In this form, we define the submit handler is save to-do. So in the create to-do component, when we save it, we emit to-do saved event. This event is listened by to-do component. So these things are translated to the client-side JavaScript. In the client side, the JavaScript implementation will take care of the event listening. So when the event is fired, it will call the listener function, which is to-do saved in this case. Then in this case, the to-do list will be updated, which calls the rendering again. So this is why you can see the render to-do list log entry here. To prove that, you can see here. Let's add swimming 12. So you can see this is the create to-do API call. It will create the item. There is a follow-up request to the to-do list. So this is the handler or the operation triggered by the event listener. If we look into the stack here, you can see more details, and if you are interested in the details, you can add more breakpoint and see how it's triggered at the client side. Okay, so this is how Livewire is working in the background when you develop the reactive component on the web page. Okay, that's it for today. Hope it helps. Probably I'm going to add more features tomorrow. Looking forward to it, and see you guys in next video. Thank you. Bye bye.